It's about that time. It's finally time to rank all 57 Jump Force playable characters. The last time I dropped my tier list, it was a bowl of controversy, and I love every bit of it. In this video, I'll specifically dive in on different tiers, but more so focus on the S, B, and D tiers. At the end of the video, please feel free to agree or disagree with me because these are my opinions, and I would love to hear yours as well. Next. Ayo guys, your favorite Kage, Enigma Kage, finally bringing you my updated Season 2 tier list. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hope you stick around, watch a few of my videos, and hey, maybe you'll subscribe today. Before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button because it greatly helps out the channel and whatnot. So let's just jump right on in. Jump Force is the type of game, if you understand the chaos going on in the match, you can pretty much win with anyone. However, the misconception is that you just mash a button, you'll win. Yes, win a trip to the rematch screen. I rank these guys strictly on the adaptability or learning curve of the character, how much problems the character will give the opponent, and the raw damage potential of a character as a whole. The tiers are split into 5 rows, S, A, B, C, and D. D being the list that needs the most help, C being the characters that get the job done but are normally better assist characters. B is the most balanced crew, they will get the job done and have loads of potential when paired with a good assist character. A is the pure meta, and you'll likely see at least one of these on every team. And S tier are the broken bunch that the novice players will go run to Reddit and crying about how they should be nerfed, etc. Remember, with every strength of a character in Jump Force, there's an underlying weakness. It's up to you to discover what that is. And I always recommend playing with as many characters as you possibly can because that would greatly help you learn their strengths and weaknesses. So starting off with the D tier lineup, Asta, Piccolo, and Galena. I'm going to be honest, Gon and Kurapika escaped this list from a year ago. So yes, my judgment has changed. Starting off with our favorite loudmouth, Asta. Asta is such a fun character to play with, but that doesn't mean that it's okay to just rank him high because you like him. Asta by far has the worst ultimate in the game, and that's strictly because his tracking is garbage. Anyone playing with Asta is stuck sweating because they don't know whether or not the Jump Force gods will screw them over and have Asta completely 180 and miss their opponent. Asta is one of those characters that lack an ability link that makes it easier to land their ultimate. Even as an assist character, Asta is pretty mid. His combo potential is lackluster, and most Asta mains just spam the light and down tilt light, which is a one-man guard break cheese, and then they call him God tier. Come on guys, you guys are just corny and you're using an exploit to win. Asta moves are really predictable. He has no zoning ability, and I only recommend him to intermediate players only. Please, take some time within the lab to learn the quirks of this character because you will get punished pretty much in rank. The one good thing he has is when you finally do land the ultimate, it locks their abilities. I don't think the tracking is awful with CACs though. That's weird. Piccolo. Although Spike has somewhat buffed Piccolo's Hell Zone grenades and allowed the player to, strike after the rush ability, he's pretty much whack. Before you guys cry about how good of an assist he is, yeah, we know that. This is based on being a main only. Piccolo is the bread and butter of the OG guard break cheese, and probably the glue to all the 100% combo videos you guys like. The man is a walking gimmick, and as a main, he's not that good. He's very slow, his special beam can come out slow, therefore people are blocking it often. The Hellzone grenade is one of the most useless moves in the game, second to Black Coffin. Trying to successfully land this move on someone is a waste of your time. I think both him and Trunks pretty much have the slowest rush ability out of all the Dragon Ball characters in Jump Force. I highly recommend Piccolo as your assist character or even your third character because there's no reason to put yourself through all this trauma in rank matches. Finally, we have Galena. Galena as a boss character is a complete joke. Spike recently buffed her wild dance, which is very welcoming, but you cannot combo into that maneuver. But it is useful against rush spammers. Galena damage is lackluster. I think the approach of the character was the right move, but the execution was poor. As a boss character, you should be high ranked amongst Cain and Prometheus, but you are actually lower than Gon Freaks, which is pretty rough to be honest. Galena has some of the weakest defense in the game, That actually goes for all the boss characters though. For some reason they all have a huge amount of weak points, but it's much more noticeable in Galena than it is with the other 3 original characters. So we're going to do a brief look into the C tier characters of Gon, All Might, Yugi, Shiryu, Blackbeard, and Deku. I chose these characters for this tier based on how much flaws they have compared to the rest of the roster. Blackbeard's size alone is a disadvantage for him when he faces smaller opponents such as Dai, Asta, or any kid character. The recent nerf made him a joke, but that's more so for the CAC users that use the Dark End for cheese purposes. Blackbeard can very much win in a 1v1 situation, but with him being that size and the camera working against him, it's safe to say any A tier small character is bopping him off the floor. All Might, Yugi, and Shiryu are all highly predictable characters. All Might cannot zone whatsoever, although I do love his Carolina Smash. It's very punishable if you or when you miss the attack. Shiryu got a decent buff and allows Mountain Dragon and Excalibur to link. He's just way more inferior to Seiya, and I believe having Shiryu as an assist is the way to go. Yugi is a meter whore. If you have less than 3 bars, you often find yourself helpless. Unlike Blue Eyes, Dark Magician's hitbox isn't huge, and you can drop combos often, which leaves you for punishment and forces you to escape earlier than anticipated. That's whack. Deku and Gon are special cases because people swear up and down that these guys belong in the B tier or even higher, which, that's fair. Depending on the player, that's fair. However, Gon, although he hits like a Mack truck, relies on his self buff. The character literally has 1 damaging ability that is technically a 2-part move. If this game allowed 1v1 online, he will never likely be picked in these situations. His ultimate when hit removes him from the round, therefore you're not going to pop ult with him. I also don't think he stands a chance without a good assist to back him up once a high pressure character like Sasuke or Jotaro get all in his face. Deku is a special case because if you use Deku more defensively, he's one of the good ones. What I mean by that is allow your opponent to be the aggressor and punish them whenever you get the chance with your Detroit Smash. Manchester Smash when not hit within a combo sucks. It's highly punishable, and if you're a new player, please do not go tossing the move around. Now for a more in-depth look at the B tier. Notice, like I said earlier in the video, this tier is the balanced tier. This tier list of characters allows the user multiple options and they play a bigger role once they switch from the main to assistants. Starting off with Rukia. Rukia, when the game first launched, I'll be honest, that was my main. She came in with an amazing buff, 2 stun techniques, and a long-range ultimate. As the meta continued to change for the worse, of course, people started staring away from the normal combat, and now are looking for more broken combinations of characters. Rukia is best suited as an assist character. That's where you get the best mileage out of her. Her ultimate is very weak compared to a lot of the other Bleach casts too. Rukia as a main takes a toll on the player. You have to be a special type of player to fight Jotaro as Rukia. If you seriously want to main her, I highly recommend you check out Ajanti's videos. I'm sure he can lead you to the waters. Kurapika is up next. I mean, with the recent buff, sure, he's better than where he placed last time, which was D tier on my list. The grab into Steel Chain into ultimate might be one of the most simplest broken stuff you could possibly pull off. Kurapika heal is still trash. I don't care what no one say, it is trash. I really do not understand why the ticking of the heal isn't much quicker or give you more health. In the heat of battle, it's practically unnoticeable. I don't think the character's trash, but he is now very much usable than he was before. The combo potential for Kurapika has always been there. The added grab into Steel Chain is a difference maker. You cannot deny that. In Jump Force, there's a 90% chance you will get a free grab off within the match. The problem is, if Kurapika does it mid-match, that could be your ass. Grimmjow, Shishio, and Renji are on this list due to their speed and lack of synergy with non-stun locking teammates. Renji honestly could slightly fall into the A tier because you can do a lot of damage with this guy, but at the same time, some of his abilities doesn't allow the assist character to be called out during the activation of the moves. Renji has one of the swiftest guard breaks in the game, and if you bring him in mid-match, it could spell trouble for the opponent. Shishio having 0 zoning abilities hurts him. He makes up for it with his ultimate, which is still the strongest in the game. Shishio also has the crappiest range. He has one of those I'ma bait you type ultimates. Shishio has less health than everyone in Jump Force as well. I'm pretty sure not everyone knew that. The only reason I'm putting him in B tier is that he exerts so much pressure on the opponent. A good Shishio player will be up close and personal at all times, stifling the opponent. Grimmjow is slow, sluggish at times, and he's the slowest Bleach character in the game. Grimmjow was designed great by Spike Chunsoft, but it's just hard to believe that this same character has taken Ichigo to the limits. Like, come on. Sanji is so underrated. Sanji potentially is A tier, and his ability links are amazing. Sanji suffers from not being able to hit women. If the opponent has an all-female squad, he then becomes useless in battle. Imagine having to rotate twice because you have Sanji as your second character. I actually am in favor of keeping the character true to what Oda designed him to be, but there's no way you can put him above B tier because of that little penalty. Although the women characters only make up 13% of the roster, you have to count the strongest female in the game, and that is the CAC. Luffy and Kaguya, I'm pairing them together for the simple reason that they're damn near S tier assist characters. I mean, the Red Hawk spam is at an all-time high now. Spike Chunsoft made it even more punishable than it was before, but spammers will always find a way to get around these things. They bring in a decent assist character to make up for those blunders. My original main team is Sasuke, Kenshiro, and Kaguya. Kaguya, just like Luffy, has an annoying one, the Vacuum Fist. Those Vacuum Fists are so annoying and gets the opponent stun locked for even more punishment. I hate to say it, the Vacuum Fist and the Red Hawk are probably two of the most predictable moves in the game. You can avoid all of Luffy Red Hawks if you just take your time. Half of the community doesn't take their time, so they run right into the Red Hawk at all times. The same can be said about Kaguya and her Vacuum Fist. I love Kaguya as a character, but against a high tier player, she's going to give you problems if you're not careful. Both of their ultimates take time. Luffy's is super avoidable because he has to bounce before he does it. I don't know who clever idea that was, but he or she should be slapped. Seiya is the kind of character that can wreck the opponent, but only if you are truly skilled. Even though Seiya isn't a zoning character, he has enough in his arsenal to keep his opponent in check. The good thing is Seiya had, if not the worst, ultimate in the game, which Spike Chunsoft has fixed by having it be guaranteed after a Meteor Fist. Seiya can flip between A and B depending on his assist character, but ultimately he is a better assist character himself. Do not let this stop you from playing with him, he is awesome. Boruto is arguably the most underrated character in Jump Force. Just ask Stray. Boruto has enough tools in his kit to give people hell. The area where he lacks is his Rasengan is very slow, and as a main, people can see it a mile away. Remember, we're ranking people based on them being a main, not an assist character. Boruto's stream is very easy to avoid, but his combos make it almost impossible to avoid once you start throwing a few mix-ups in there. Boruto as an assist or a backup character is where he fits in the best. I advise you to have Boruto as your secondary or even a closing character. Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and Trunks. This placement is questionable, I already know that. Let's just start with Goku and Frieza. They have a lot of damage and potential, and Goku is the father of guard break cheese for these lames. Their ultimates are some of the hardest to land with normal means. I think that goes for all the ball type ultimates. You gotta kinda catch people slipping. All their Dragon Ball rushes are avoidable if the opponent isn't just mashing the punch button. Goku does have a counter, and the ability to switch to Kamehameha Winds Awaken. Trunks and Vegeta could easily slide into A tier, but Vegeta assist is garbage. The only people still rocking out with Vegeta assist are guard break cheesers, and when you're using him as a main, you will miss 50% of those volleys. Trunks moves are awesome. Putting him in B tier might be a mistake, I'm not gonna lie. However, you can stop Trunks' ultimate with the normal move because, you know, it's a grab. It's a grab first. So for me, that's a no-go. Why isn't it always hyper armor? I don't know. You also need a lot of meter when you're playing with Trunks to be effective because those two cutscene moves are going to be your bread and butter later on in matches. Madara fell into the B tier slot for me because he leaves too much room for punishment. You do not want to be on the brink of escape every damn 15 seconds. You have to be careful when using his only two attacking abilities. The counter is sweet, I'm not gonna lie, if you can land it. A lot of players often run and bait opponents with Madara, which diminishes the character to be honest. Madara's Flame Song is another move that just does nothing for me. It's too avoidable for me compared to Sasuke's regular Fireball Jutsu. Hiei is one of those characters that let me down. He's still amazing though, and is one of my favorite all-time characters. However, Spike Chunsoft was trying too much with him. Hiei often drops combos randomly because the way they mapped out his light attacks. For a fast character, his air vanishes are slow, and his ultimate is super underwhelming. Hiei really shines as an assist character though. I highly advise players to get good with this character because he is still good enough to get plenty of wins with. It just takes a little time learning what you can do with Hiei, but he is still very much good. It's underwhelming. And finally, Kenshin Himura. Kenshin is an amazing character. I've been slapped around by a bunch of Kenshin players before, and it's not so much him or his map pressure, it often is who he's paired with, like a stun lock and assist character like Piccolo, Seiya, or even another Hiei player. Kenshin cannot zone at all, and against a good zoning character, he suffers really hard. He isn't the strongest rush character either. Against someone like Jotaro, he's pretty much toast. However, don't sleep on him because he has a guard breaking ability, and that can get you into a load of problems during the ending of the match. The A tier characters, just to briefly say this, they all can be flip-flopped between A and S tier. The only real separation is something like an ultimate not doing too much damage as the God tier characters. These characters are the meta characters. You will always see one or two of these guys on the same team. The only time you don't is because someone's really trying to spice up their gameplay. For example, Shoto Todoroki, in my opinion, is a top 5 character. Why didn't I put him in S tier? Simply because he's an ability-based character and cannot hold his own for much in a match. Shoto can 0 to 100 you in a matter of seconds. That's undeniable. But once he misses one of those abilities, it's punishment city for him. If anything, A tier is the top tier in this game. And when I get into the S tier, it'll come off more so of I'm trying to say that these guys are truly unfair in certain situations and to certain skill level of opponent. Characters like Zoro, Killua, Rio, and Cell are borderline S tier or former S tier characters, but due to a slight nerf here and there, they are being placed in the A tier with an asterisk. Lastly, Toguro. I will not be putting him in S tier as a main character. Those who main him are often guard break cheesers, and they just, it gets real messy when you're trying to rank him because all of them do the light and down light one-man guard break cheese. As a main, he is still dangerous, but as an assist character, he's leagues above everyone else. The same can be used for Prometheus. So we are in the final stretch, guys. S tier, or I like to call it God tier. These characters need no tweaking. They hardly need to switch out. Put two of them in the same squad together and it instantly becomes a try-hard team. This tier is the tier where I think most people will agree with me more so on. But like I said, it's fine if you disagree with me. Starting this thing out with Ichigo. Ichigo is hands down the best base character in the game. He's super fast, he hit hard, and becomes a broken mess when he awakens. At one point in the game, people just couldn't avoid his Getsuga when awakened because it moves so fast and the server wouldn't even let you react to it if the connection was wonky. Ichigo has it all. Zoning potential, rush offense, and a sweet counter. When it comes to the base roster, only those who are on this tier can compete with him pound for pound. Sosuke Aizen. Aizen, in my opinion, isn't an S tier as we might make him out to be on paper. The man has one damaging move, an unusable black coffin that you have to be either an idiot to get hit by it or this person doing the most to hit you with it, and a wall that can stop most but not all moves. So why did I place him here? No one in the game vanishes while doing combos except Aizen. The man is a menace to society. Aizen's air heavy makes him completely vanish. Like, what kind of broken-ish is that? Aizen's a combo machine that oozes pressure to the opponent. There's not a time with an Aizen that's mixing it up on you and you simply don't hit the escape button. For a character with one usable ability, he does 100 times more than the best Gon player could ever achieve. Let's not forget that his ultimate does a lot of damage when he's awakened as well. Miram. Miram is arguably the best Jump Force character on the roster. The reason it has nothing to do with damage potential, but more so the utility of the character. Miram, Law, and Giorno has introduced the Jump Force community to mechanics that wasn't originally in the base game. Miram has buffs and debuffs built into his moveset. Miram is the only character that can gain meter with offense after using his buff. That's completely broken. He has a long-range stun, which can be blocked and punishable, but once you pair him with someone like Kenshiro, oh my gosh, it's GG. The amount of scrubs that moved up rank due to the purchase of this character were ridiculous. Miram shines in any situation and his ultimate hits very hard and very fast. Sasuke, Kane, and Kenshiro. I'm lumping them together because they are the answers to your problems, whether it's a projectile spammer, a rush heavily light spammer, or even a marathon man. These three are elite at making changes on the fly. Sasuke having the ability to exert pressure and or zone is very useful against JoJo characters. The beautiful Amaterasu forces their opponent to fight straight up instead of running all match. Kenshiro's debuffs are on par with Miram. Well, that's because they're practically the same thing. Kenshiro as an assist character is even worse because he locks your mobility gauges with ease. It's insane how much pressure he can put on an opponent with teaming in with Mirom. It just isn't fair at all. And as for Kane, just like Boo, he can end a match with one slip up and an awakened ultimate. Kane is fast, probably has the best grab in the game, and vanishes with all his abilities, which can disrupt their opponent. Kane is an original boss character for Jump Force, but he fits right into the lineup perfectly. The damage potential with Kane and a great assist is through the roof. Trafalgar Law. Law was our original, air quote, best DLC character until Mirom kicked down that door. Law brought a bunch of unique things to the game. At the time, he was the only character that could force switch their opponent. He was considered a tank character like Blackbeard, Toguro, and Kaguya until they recently just, nerfed him. But even with the nerfed version of Law, he's still a problem. When Law activates Room, we all tend to say, well, that's predictable too. But guess what? Can you stop it? He can ability link majority of his moves, and his ultimate still hits hard even after the nerf. The dynamic of forcibly removing a character at will does more than enough to make this an S tier character. Finally, the 3 JoJo characters. Let's start off with Jotaro and Dio. Last year I placed Jotaro above Dio because people were, well, they still are, using the star finger as a crutch. Dio has a bunch of tricks up his sleeve, whether it's checkmate, whether it's that blood blending move. Dio has a lot more potential than Jotaro this time around. I've really assessed the game. They both present punching barrages and linkable attacks with Starfinger and Checkmate. What makes them both so strong is the pressure you can do with them. Jotaro can zone, but he can rush with the best of them. If not the best, Dio can zone, rush, and has a global ultimate that can reach across the map. If the opponent has a JoJo character, you just know it's not going to be a fun match for you. I can only imagine how Papa Birdo opponents feel. Giorno. Look, he doesn't have that much pressure as Jotaro or Dio, but the utility of this character is ridiculous. The man can heal himself for 10 to 15% life in just a matter of 3 seconds. He can dodge most rush ultimates with the tree ability for free. His ultimate can remove an opponent from the remainder of the round, leaving them with just 2 characters to defend themselves. He is just on a different level when it comes to utility. Is he the best in the game? Some will argue that he is indeed, but to me, I still think that title belongs to Mirom. Giorno in lower ranks can get you to B ranks, but after that, you pretty much have to get good at the game, guys. You just can't just buy him and think you're gonna be on the S tier. It's not happening. And there you have it, folks. D through S tier for Jump Force DLC Season 2. If you disagree with anyone or just want to discuss these placements, please feel free to drop a comment below. I'm always willing to hear what the community has to say. I love interacting with you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. I hope this isn't our very last Jump Force tier list. I'm pretty sure it's not, wink wink. But anyway, as always, I'm Enigma, signing off. Peace, guys.